in this lesson we're going to talk about Mr. Jimmy Page. A couple of cool things about Jimmy Page. He had the quintessential triplet riff that I was playing there a little bit in the intro, and some really extreme overbends similar to David Gilmour that we talked about. But if you listen to the first couple Led Zeppelin records, you're going to hear this ascending and descending triplet style riff through a minor pentatonic. It was kind of one of his go-to licks in the early days, and certainly is one of my go-to licks from time to time because it just sounds really great. So what we're doing basically is we're going to go down an E minor pentatonic scale, right? Just our good old blues box there. And of course you can apply this to other shapes. I'm just trying to keep it simple, but you can apply it to any of your pentatonic shapes, okay? And what you're doing is you're sequencing it down in groups of 3. So you just start on the first note. In this case it's the G note on the 15th fret on the high E string here, and you're just coming down in little groups of 3. 3 there, then go down to the next note, which would be E in this case. Go down 3 notes of the pentatonic scale from there. So you got, and then you just repeat that for each string group. So here I would have it. So. All right, and depending on the tempo, it certainly works out great for triplets, of course, because it's little groups of 3. Triplets are groups of 3. Depending on the tempo, if it's a faster tempo song, you can do it in 8th note triplets, or in this case, I did it in more of a 16th note triplet feel, which is just double time 8th notes, right? All right, in the reverse, we could also ascend that. And I'll show you how I like to kind of approach this. We're going to start here. Here's our root tone, our E, but I'm actually going to start on the minor third here, which is the next note up the pentatonic, and I'm going to go backwards. So it's... That is also the same kind of triplet feel, just in the opposite direction, of course, right? So those are two quintessential, especially in the early Led Zeppelin records. Jimmy Page did those kind of ascending and descending triplet runs. Now, another thing that Jimmy did was he would do these kind of overbends too, much like we talked about with David Gilmour. Maybe a little bit less controlled than David Gilmour, just kind of more a little bit free, not exactly going for an exact pitch, but he might do something like this. Right, that was another really quintessential Jimmy Page sound in the early days of Led Zeppelin when they were, playing more of a blues rock style before they got a little bit more progressive. So those are a couple of quintessential Jimmy Page riffs that you can get under your fingers and immediately throw it into your blues rock style of playing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jam a little bit more over the track just to give you some examples of this in action. Let's do it. All right, awesome. So there's a little insight to some of the ascending and descending triplet runs of Mr. Jimmy Page. Let's go ahead and head over to our practice scene and we'll do a little jamming. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back to our practice session. We're going to do a little jamming, a little trading. I'm going to take the first few passes and then I'm going to hand it off to you and we'll just alternate and swap and have some fun. Try to inject some of those Jimmy Page-isms, right? The triplet ascending and descending runs, maybe some of those overbends, just using that simple minor pentatonic. Let's give it a go.